Hey, good afternoon, everybody. So today I wanted to go over something that I've been hearing, and I've heard it a lot over the years about dealing with demonology or fallen angels. And I hate to even get into this topic too much because I don't want to give evil any credit or make it like they're more powerful than the strength of God, or we know that they're under our feet, but we have to also understand who and what they are, and sometimes some of their manipulations, so we can deal with them with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? If any of y'all have dealt with a narcissist, for instance, that is very similar to the or almost an exact match to how the enemy works in the Bible, even as masquerading as a angel of light, wearing a mask, right? Just like the narcissist. So I believe that they're a cohort, an extension, a soldier of the army of the enemy. But that's just to say that that's one piece. But my point is when you dealt with a narcissist, you have to deal with them in certain tactful ways. And so if you don't deal with them in certain tactful ways, then you will be destroyed, literally. So that's why I kind of want to go over this a little bit. I know there's people that talk about demonology all the time and fallen angels, but I just like to touch on the subject where it applies and where it makes sense and where it can make scripture more clear. So in the case of this, I heard a situation where they're talking about in Revelation 9, it talks about, Christ, and the millennial kingdom, because for those of us that believe it has come and gone, even though we grew up in evangelical homes, for instance, and we're used to looking out for the rapture in the future, which, a lot of people are calling futurism now. Okay. But we believe at this point, with all the evidence historically and then rereading the Bible, that the tribulation has already come. They've added 1,000 years to the calendar. They've hidden our history. A lot of people are calling it hidden history now because it's been so distorted. But to cover up the millennial kingdom of Christ, that has already come and gone. And like when you're talking about these Greco-Roman buildings and stuff like that, the architecture, and it's all over the earth. So that it tells you proof that there was one kingdom that ruled the whole earth. The 1,000 years that was, added to the calendar and stuff. But when it comes to Revelation 9, talking about like where, a lot of people say, well, it couldn't have happened because the stars haven't fallen out of the sky, because it talks about the stars falling. Well, and, somebody I listened to, and she's really good. And she has a lot of followers, and I've followed her for several years now. But she's talking about this a little bit, but that this is one place where it's metaphoric to some degree. That's the thing. It's like everybody that is like backwards in the church, that really doesn't like is a wolf in sheep's clothing. They're always going to take what is literal and make it metaphoric, and what is metaphoric and try to make it somehow a manipulation to where it should be like literal, just to screw you up. And this is why a lot of times we don't know what era we're in history, and we believe sometimes a lot of people out here that are Christian, man, y'all got to stop believing these pastors on TV or on stages that go against the text. Like there's the text is given to us for a reason. We didn't get necessarily that pastor or that presence of that person on TV. If Satan is the prince of power of the air of this world, you got to watch out. But when I want to get into this, so demons are the copulations of fallen angels and human women from Genesis 6, meaning fallen angels came and mated with human women, and it caused the giants and the Nephilim in the land. It talks about that the sons of God came into the daughters of man, and then there was the Nephilim in the land, which were the giants, which was the half-breeds. They were half fallen angel, half human, and God called them abomination. Well, the disembodied spirits of those became demons, and demons have been housed in flesh, and they want to be in flesh again to ravish it, to use it to have utter control over somebody and to destroy that individual that they're in, meaning spiritually, but also to destroy anything that it can get in contact, especially God's children, the Lord's children. But they'll even destroy anybody because they hate that we have an opportunity and they have wasted theirs. And so with that, a lot of people call fallen angels demons, and they're not. A lot of people call or say that fallen angels are all locked in the abyss. They are not. That just talks about in the biblical narrative always gets back to the ones that fell during the time of Noah, both in Jude and Peter and all of those places. The ones that were locked in chains were not all of the fallen angels. Now, in the case of Revelation 9, and she gets back to Deuteronomy 32, where it talks about that after Babylon was broken up and all was dispersed, that God formed kind of like what you would call countries today, just different kingdoms. And I think that what happened was like it talks about that the sons of God were like in control of that, and that he said that at some point that he would have them all fall like men, or like men. And so if they were just mere men, she was saying that then God would have not spoke like that. I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people like to take God's text and then say, well, they rationalize it like God didn't know better from the text that, he created everything. I mean, like, some people treat him like he doesn't know what he's doing. And people got to get off that. But those are people that are probably going to be wolves, or people that may not even be saved, but maybe think they are, or may know they're wolves. And so you got to be careful with that. Always, read the text, study, show yourself approved, and use the Holy Ghost as your well and iron around you, people around you that are good people, vetted people. But outside of so fallen angels are called sons of God, period. And so, she was saying that Deuteronomy 32 was talking about that it was what matched up with Revelation 9. That the stars that were going to fall meant that the rulers and controllers, the fallen angels, the powers and principalities over the lands and these territories were going to eventually fall, that they were going to fall like mere men, not anything different. It's not like God was going to take the literal stars out of the sky and make them fall. Especially if they're on the other side of the firmament. It just wouldn't make sense. Okay? And I haven't studied the stars to see if they're inside the firmament or outside the firmament. I mean, there are falling stars, so I'm thinking that they are inside the firmament. At least some of them. Maybe they're in both areas. I do not know. But I wanted to clarify that, because there's only 3 individuals that are called, that I know of, that are called sons of God in the Bible. Or 3 or 4 different individuals that it could be. And, so one is Adam, first, one is Jesus Christ, because he is everything. He is a son of God. He's the Son of God, and he is the Son of Man, because he's all of those, because he presented himself as man to be the sacrificial lamb for all humanity, to save our lives and our souls if we so there choose. And so he's the Son of Man, and he's called Yeshua, meaning the God man, or the man in the man, God who took on flesh, okay, and God's son. And he's God's son, and he's a son of God, because anybody that came from heaven pretty much is going to be called a son of God. Whether fallen or non-fallen, that's the best way to put it. So meaning So, like, for instance, this, like, the fallen angels were once made in a perfect state before they fell. Okay, they had the ability to operate in the heavenlies, meaning very much so God created them pretty good, pretty extra. Like, there was no sin originally did not exist in them, and so they are called sons of God. We are not sons of God because we were born under the bondage of sin and generational curses. And I speak about how, for instance, the narcissists in our lives and in there are generational curse to our bloodline. It's something meaning we didn't do anything, but because, our generations did in our genetics, it caused us to have to deal with it too. And we can defeat the curse, or we can agree to carry it on. So we can break the curse, or we can agree to abide in it and to people please it. So, and you don't want to do that, but I'm just saying, like, this is how this stuff works. So a fallen angel is called the son of God. That's why, and Adam is called only, like, human that's called the son of God, is because Adam was once made in perfection, and then he became, you see, he became in his fallen state. And then Jesus Christ is everything. He's the Son of God. He's a Son of God and also the Son of Man, because he did it all. And so people like to say that the Christians in Genesis mated with the sinners, and they created giants in the land. And the sons of gods were the sons of Seth mating with the sons of Cain, or the daughters of Cain, kind of. And that is such a lie. Don't believe that for a minute. You get that all the time today, and you get sinners marrying Christians all the time. They don't birth giants. I mean, it was obvious in the text, but this is what half the modern day church believes. This nonsense. It's not true. A son of God, like spoken of in Genesis 6, going into daughter of man, would be an angel that fell, that went into human flesh, birthed by humanity. And then the hybrid, or the result of that, the product of that, was a demon. I mean, not a demon. It was a demon in a giant. It was a giant, but when the giant died, it became a demon. It sounds as if you read a text outside of the biblical narrative, that a demon couldn't go to hell, or God didn't let it go to hell, didn't let it go to heaven. It just kind of roamed the earth. And because it was in flesh, it would want to be in flesh again. So it would find open doorways so that it could enter. And then it wouldn't want to go unless you had to deliver it. And so the fallen angel is kind of like, in the Bible, they would, regular holy angel would show up as a human. Eat, drink. They went to Sodom and Gomorrah and got Lot out of there, and they were humans. They ate and drank with Abraham, and these are different things that would occur. Okay, so if an angel, holy angel, could do that, then a fallen angel could show up as a man, and it was always a man in the Bible. So in the outside the text, like, meaning now, if you were to be presented by anything outside of a man that claimed to be an angel, then it wouldn't be an angel, not a holy angel. A fallen angel can show up as anything, but we have to follow the biblical narrative. Whatever it has been in the past, we kind of have to follow as our plug into today. That's our key. You know what I mean? Like, you ever see that thing where it's like there's a key to understanding a program? These several different things that you follow. So that's why if somebody shows up as Mary or something, says they're an angel from heaven, that's not true. That can't be, because we have to follow the biblical narrative. And so I agree with her answer. I just think that she kind of speculates to where there shouldn't be too much speculation. It should just be fact. Anyway, I respect the speculation, because we do have to have a little bit of that without us having a short answer to everything. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify that, and that's all for today. If you can give me a like, a subscription, and a thumbs up, I appreciate it. Love y'all, and more to come. Thank you. Peace.